All right, are we live? We should be live. Maybe we're live. There might be a loading screen on right now. Let's find out what we have in store for us right now. Hey, we're live. That's fantastic. Let's turn that volume down before I blow my ears out. I'm going to copy the link here, and I'm going to drop it into the social medias so I can start promoting my presence online. And while doing so, cool, that's where that's at. I just got to click like maybe 15 more buttons and they'll be up and running. So got a timer going. I have a fairly tight frame to operate today. I'm taking a lunch break for me to continue working on the martial power rogue subclass revisions for the martial powers system that we are creating for 5th edition Dungeons & Dragons 2024. My name is Phil Kearney. Hey, I've been creating role-playing content online. I illustrate it and I publish it. Currently, I've been publishing on DMsGuild exclusively because I've been dealing with Wizards of the Coast Dungeons & Dragons IPs. I've been a D&D enthusiast since 1987. And the first book that I published on DMsGuild was the Color Mana system on DMsGuild, which is the Color Mana spell point system here. It's a slew of different books that converts spellcasting from Dungeons & Dragons into a Magic the Gathering system of tapping and spending mana to trigger different types of effects. Like, subscribe, hit the bell icon to get, hey, we have new subscribers today. That's awesome. Thanks for being on board, guys. You can check out the full playlist of developing this since I think we started in November 2022. And so here's the playtest content here. You can access it through my Patreon. You don't have to be a member to see it. This YouTube stream is, hey, it's right here. Hi, guys. But if you click this Martial Powers button here, it'll take you to a read-only document. You can read, but you can't edit or copy yet. It will be on the DMsGuild like everything else that I publish. Like, for example, the 5 Color Mana spell point variant rule system that I created. There's a whole stack of books. And let's look at Spellpoint Warlocks. This is a pay what you want book. If you at least chip in a buck, I'd appreciate it. We're like 5 sales away from gold medal. And it basically converts Warlocks into a Spellpoint system. You could use the Spellpoint system from the Dungeon Master's Guide, but it's a piece of shit. So I recommend using the Universal Spellpoint system that I developed, where 1 point per level. First level, 1 point. 5th level, 5 points. 9th level, 9 points. Yes, you can overclock and get to 10th level access, epic levels at 20th level with 10 mana spent. But it's a very simple system. It's very straightforward. And the martial power system that we've been developing here is basically hinging off of half-casters. 5 ranks of power that you can accumulate at the levels you would expect: 1, 5, 9, 13, 17. You prepare a stack of powers up to 16. When you get to 20th level, you get a stack of mana. Rangers, paladins, artificers, they're half casters, and they get their mana on a long rest. So they basically get 2 mana per level until they cap at 40 with 20th level. For comparison, a wizard or a cleric, like a full caster, would have 100. You just saw in the spell point sorcerers that they get 60. They get 20 temporary. They get 20 pact mana, which is they get back on a short rest. But then they also get their Mystic Arcanum, a total of 40 points that they get back on a long rest, starting from 11th to 20th level. So full casters are 80, warlocks are 60, half casters are 40. Eldritch Knights and Arcane Tricksters, they have 20. As do monks, they have 20, and then a sorcerer has 100. So it goes 20, 40, 60, 80, 100. That's the breadth of mana that a character with a single class can accumulate. The barbarian, monk, fighter, rogue, and warlock are short rest martial points. So they gain 1 point per level, and they can regain it all on a short rest, 20 at 20th. And then, of course, the warlock has the Arcanum kicker for an extra 40 mana that they can accumulate as a long rest over the course of a day, which would cap at 40. So if you check out the last session that we ran, which was yesterday or the episode before this one on the stream, we took a long dive into the mechanics for how the rogue works in general, like its class features, and we spent a lot of time looking at the different powers that are available in the book. A total of 166 powers. 115 of them use mana. A good 51 of them don't need mana at all. So if you want to get caught up on the mechanics of all this stuff, you are certainly encouraged to go check out the book from yesterday. The stream from yesterday was like a 2-some-odd-hour stream yesterday, and we drilled through about half of the rogue archetypes. So we're going to continue working on archetypes as soon as I get down to the bottom here. This is where we ended at Phantom. So we did a number of I was playtesting the alpha version from level 16 to 20 with my home table for like the past 7 months or so, and then it got to a point where high end felt good. We knew it was a viable model that wasn't overclocking anything. So we then needed to go down to the very lowest levels to see how well it operates in Tier 1, Tier 2, Tier 3, as well as Tier 4. So the level 3 and 4 playtesting we did last month opened up some great insights on efficiency and sense of loss and point value that we were able to then consolidate 50-some-odd powers into other existing powers so that there was added value being provided whenever you decided to make a decision. And we revised the concentration mechanics for sustained effects, as well as interaction for like opportunity attacks. So we spent a lot of time on that yesterday. So instead, today I want to dive into the meat of it. So we do need to pull this free here. You gain a number of bonus powers. You get 16 powers that you just know, or rather that you can prepare when by 20th level, 16 that you can prepare. And then you also get 10 bonus powers that are always prepared. And again, powers could be any mixture of disciplines or non-mana costing options, such as feats, damage types, and combat masteries. And they just dropped the weapon masteries. It's what is it? Today is July 18th, 2024. So they just published on D&D Beyond the basic mechanics for the weapon mastery system that they proposed. That it's a step forward towards more options for melee combatant characters, but it falls short of the Battle Master, at least from what we know about the Battle Master right now. But at least it's putting something forward. So now that we have those official rules, we can make sure that our system is compliant with it, which we'll be probably doing on Friday. But for now, I'm just going to make sure what powers we've chosen still exist and replace them if they don't. So resilience, I don't think that exists anymore. So we're going to go ahead. Resilient save is a 3rd rank power now. So that's going to have to get pushed way up, because you can't have a 3rd rank power until 9th level. And Ghost Walker. So you know this is gone. Breath of Life is the new exploit that replaces Swift Resuscitation. I know that. I think Ghost Walker is sus too. Hold on. Sustained power too. Let's go find out. Giant growth. Nope, Ghost Walker is 3. Okay. It allows you basically to maintain incorporeal reality. Let's see. Phase attack doesn't exist anymore. It's precise attack now. I think it's still exploit 2. Let's go find out. No, precise attack. 2nd. Yeah, precise attack 2. Curse of the Fallen Puppet. That's a maneuver. I think it's still 2nd. Maybe not. Oh, it's a reaction. That's right. Curse the Fallen Puppet, reaction 2. Perfect. Fickle Fate. I think that still exists as a reaction. Oh, wait, it's Fate. Is it Fate Spinner now? As a reaction to when you or a creature you see makes an ability check, attack, roll, a saving throw, you can alter their fate. That feels right. Fate Spinner is reaction 3. And I feel like this entire rack here needs to drop here. Vanish still exists, right? That's an exploit 1. Yeah. Become invisible until the beginning of your next turn. Nothing can cancel it except for Dispel. That's not bad. And then Breath of Life is first. Necrotic damage at 5th level is good. Life-stealing strike. I believe that's a strike 1 now. First rank strike. Let's verify. Yeah, first rank. Precise attack. Curse of Fallen Puppet. Resilient save. Ghost Walker. Fate Spinner. And let's see. What's another 3rd, 4th rank cool thing we can do? Phantom. Incorporeality. Phasing through shit. What's something that makes sense here? Power armor ain't bad. Huh. No, that doesn't make sense. A better reaction will though. Well, there might be a strike that makes sense. Banishing strike is planar stuff. That's not necessarily Phantom. Restraining strike, life-stealing strike, grappling strike, goading strike, freezing strike, flaming strike, distracting strike, disarming strike, caustic strike. Rider Revival. Reaction 4. As a reaction to when you drop to 0 hit points but you don't die outright, you remain conscious and roll a number of power dice equal to the mana channeled, which will be 4, unless you drop it down to 3 cost. Gaining that many hit points instead, up to your maximum hit point total. Cheers. Anchor is not bad either for Phantom type stuff in general, I guess. I like the idea of that anchor. Anchor is interesting. Check this out. As a reaction to a creature that you can see moving, teleporting, or shifting planes, whether voluntarily or forced. Before doing so, let's see. As a reaction to a creature you can see moving, teleporting, or shifting planes, before doing so, it takes 1 power die of damage per mana burned and must succeed a charisma saving throw against your channeling DC. If it fails, it cannot move, teleport, or shift planes until the beginning of their next turn. A falling creature targeted by this power remains fixed in space until the duration ends. If you target an ally, you can forgo dealing damage and reduce the mana cost by 1. We do need to put a comment up here Kicker costs, forced movement, disrupting, dismissing powers, visual effects and awareness, duplicating effects, range of effects, duration of effects, sustained powers, strike powers, reaction powers, maneuver powers, exploit powers, disciplines of power. Allies, enemies, creatures. Include both allies and enemies, as well as creatures that are otherwise unidentified. There. Determining area of effect. The origin of an area of effect is any corner of any square within range of the power. For example, a power with a 30-foot range affecting a 5-foot radius can target any corner of any square up to 6 squares away in a 5-foot square grid, affecting a 2x2 square centered on the chosen point. Duplicating effects. DC equals 8 plus proficiency bonus plus channeling ability bonus as determined by your channeling class feature detailed with each class description below. Got that locked down. What up? What else we got? I think everything is okay now. Yeah, Rider Revival makes a shitload of sense. Okay, cool. Features, Whisper of the Dead. Apparently there doesn't need to be any changes there. 3, Wails from the Grave. When you deal sneak attack damage, you can immediately target another creature you can see within 30 feet to take necrotic damage equal to half the sneak attack dice rolled during the initial attack. Minimum of 1d6. When using power over precision or cunning power, the amount of dice rolled while using Wails from the Grave is half the available sneak attack dice, not the total. You can use this feature a number of times, equal to your proficiency bonus to regain all uses when you finish a long rest. And then no changes, no changes, no changes. Huh. Whales from the grave. When you deal sneak attack damage, you can immediately take another creature equal to half the damage dealt by the sneak attack dice rolled. Including any power dice that replace sneak attack rolled while using not power over precision. I think it's cunning strikes, or is it cunning power? We're using cunning power. That's right. There. When you deal sneak attack damage, you can immediately target another creature you can see within 30 feet to take necrotic damage equal to half the damage dealt by the sneak attack damage dice rolled, including any power dice rolled while using cunning power. That's just it's like sweeping strike but with range, kind of. You see, you immediately target another creature you can see within 30 feet to take necrotic damage equal to half the damage dealt by the sneak attack damage dice rolled. Whales from the Grave does oh wait, Damage dealt by strike powers do not damage dealt by strike powers does not damage dealt when channeling a strike power damage dealt when channeling a strike power let's see. Wait a second. Damage. Damn it. All I'm trying to say is that when you use a strike power, the damage. I'm trying to say that any damage dealt with a strike power is not added to sneak attack damage that is targeted. When a target takes damage from this feature. When a target takes damage from this feature, the total the second target of this feature only takes damage from sneak attack dice, not including any additional damage caused by a strike power, even while using the cunning power feature. That is horribly written, which I can redo. Hey, what's up? Facus Duracus, Galactus Cactus. What up, my dude? Really admire that you have going on here. Thanks a lot. Appreciate the word. Yeah, I'm really fighting with this language here. Okay, so one of the features of the rogue is that you can sacrifice sneak attack dice to gain free strike powers. Strike powers are basically like modified smite powers from a paladin that anyone can use if they learn or prepare how to use them. So if you're going to reduce the amount of sneak attack dice that you're using so that you can get strike effects going, Whales from the Grave would not be able to transfer the benefit of the strike power because those are single target effects only. So I'm trying to figure out the wording there. So when you deal sneak attack damage, and they're going to have to, they're going to have to update this for 2024 if they're going to stick with cunning strikes anyway. So we're just pushing it a little bit further because that's what couture designers like us do. We push what's there and we push it further. So not necessarily into imbalance, but into new space. So when you deal sneak attack damage, Whales is great. When you deal sneak attack damage, you can immediately target another creature that you can see within 30 feet to take necrotic damage equal to half the sneak attack damage roll rounded up. This does not include any additional damage channeled by a strike power, even whether and sneak attack damage reduced by cunning power reduces the damage dealt to whales. It's getting very wordy. I'll catch you in a second, Cactus. When you deal sneak attack damage, you can immediately target another creature you can see within 30 feet to take necrotic damage equal to half the sneak attack damage rolled. Rounded up. This does not include any additional damage channeled by a strike power. And if the sneak attack dice rolled is reduced by the cunning power feature, the amount of damage dealt to the secondary target is similarly reduced. That, I think, is probably going to be the straightest read of this that I can go with right now. It ain't perfect. When you deal sneak attack damage, hold on, let me just catch up with it. So, can you scoot it over so I can? Oh, it's running off screen. Well, thanks for the heads up, man. Of course. Can you read all of that? This should be all on screen now, right? Good. Let me get my marks here. Okay, if I'm using Photoshop like normal, as long as I have the edge of my window lined up with the back end of the word channels here, then the full text should be visible. Let me see how that's. Hold on. I'm trying to catch this on screen. Oh yeah. Okay, I'm reading that perfectly. Cool. Sorry, just mincing around here real quick. So yeah, when you deal Mabs. There. When you deal sneak attack damage, you can immediately target another creature you can see within 30 feet to take necrotic damage equal to half the sneak attack damage rolled, equal to half the sneak attack damage rolled. That is accurate statement, rounded up. This does not include any additional damage channeled by a strike power. Even if sneak attack, that's how I should word it. Even if the sneak attack damage dice is reduced by the cunning power feature. I think that should be self-contained. You can use this feature a number of times equal to your proficiency bonus. You regain all uses when you finish a long rest. You can spend 2 mana to regain 1 use. There. Bird. 9, no change. 13, no change. 17, apparently no change. So I'm just going to let those sit. Okay, so let's move on to the next. Oh, wait, and you're probably going to want to be able to see all the powers as well. So let me get that lined up here for you, too. There, that should be sitting pretty for you now. Easy peasy. Hey, do you use Google Docs primarily for this type of work, or do you use Word Anvil, World Anvil, or anything, or any platforms like it? So I do. The only reason I use Google Docs in design work like this is because it's easy for me to be able to share a link. I always post like playtest stuff that I'm working on my Patreon and stuff like that, which is linked down below. Once I've gotten through the rough draft of it, I will send a copy of the Google Doc to my editor. And the editor will then chew on it, and we can use the commentary and edit stuff over here, just normal editing tools for us to come up with a final manuscript. Once that's finalized, I move it out of Google Doc into Microsoft Word to do my layouts. And once it's through Microsoft Word, I drop it into Adobe Photoshop to work on the page art. And once the page art is completed, I export all the images out of Photoshop into Microsoft Word, and then I seal it as a PDF and I publish it wherever it is it publishes. This will be on the DMsGuild. I provide spreadsheets for stuff in general. Like if you're new to my stuff in general, I'll show you real quick an example. Get rid of that. Like the 5 color mana spell point variant rules that I built, which is meant for Magic the Gathering. Here is the revised color mana spell list that we have for all the spells in the player's handbook. Devoted, we have the categories like what defines a white source of magic, what defines black magic or green magic, whatever. Like the 10 types of magical damage that are in the game, what colors do each one of those devoted to, as per the rules of Magic the Gathering. Once we have that matrix, we can start figuring out white, blue, black, red, and green. Like Dancing Lights is a blue spell. Arguably, it could also be white because it's light, so I can make that revision. But like Eldritch Blast is a force effect, and it's just raw damage. So white, blue, and red, because force damage is roughly defined as white, blue, and red damage. Bane is a black-based spell. Bless is a white-based spell. Burning Hands is a red spell. Charm Person affects illusion in a way. It like deludes their mind, which is a blue effect. It controls their actions and contrives their opinions of things, which is a black effect. And it controls their emotions, which is a red-like thing. So Charm Person could be cast as a blue, black, or red spell, for instance. And then like Disguise Self is a blue spell because it's illusion. That's generally blue magic. As well as a bunch of other stuff, but also blue. Like Fog Cloud is blue because of air and water magic, and it's green because of nature magic. So like, there's some internal logic that goes along with these. Like Goodberry is white and green because healing in general is white and green. So like, we have that matrix, but like, we provide a spreadsheet for this for like everything. Like the Elemental Key book that I made for Elemental Key, like air, earth, fire, water, for the way of the 4 elements to be an airbender. That uses the same spreadsheet, and every product has a spreadsheet that's provided with it, so that you can fuck around and add them yourself. So like, if somebody were to pick up this full bundle like of all of these books, you get every spell from the game, because I've got the Master Expanded Spell List here. It's like this is literally provided as a document that's included. It has all the classes broken down, all the backgrounds from Magic the Gathering, as well as like card inspired stuff, like all spells, like every spell, all 500-ish of them. So I provide tools like this for you to be able to craft your own spell list. And like, you could, like, Fight Steed is a green spell, but if you wanted to learn it as a blue spell, you could either research it to be blue instead of green by spending time and money, or you could learn it twice. Once as green, the way it's supposed to be and then you could learn it again to change what the color is. So like, if you would normally have 7 spells, and like 5 of them are the color that you want, and there was another spell that you wanted to have access to, you can learn it twice. So you can learn it and then learn it the color that you want. So, and then you can change what color you have in your mana pool whenever you finish a short or long rest. And whenever you finish a long rest, you can rearrange your spells as well. So, easy ways to cheat the system in various ways, and this Martial Power system uses a lot of those mechanics as well. So, got a little Fog Cloud? Yeah, you do. Yeah, thanks. I call them magic paradigms. The generic paradigm for Dungeons and Dragons is the 8 schools of magic, which uses just a generic spell point or spell slot, just universal mana. And whatever the spell is, it's just basically flavor text. Your necromancy could be black reeds of energy, or it could be angelic white light from heaven, or it could be maggots crawling around into the shape of the sigil, and then they burn out, and then whatever was supposed to manifest rises from that burn. Like, there's no real flavor. But like in Magic the Gathering, if you're casting a red spell, chances are you're going to have some sort of like crackling energy or like radiant redness coming off of you as an indication of you're casting red magic, for instance. So necrotic stuff is going to generally have like a black, like a black energy bend around it, or you. So color magic, in my opinion, is the best magic paradigm because it's literally color. You know, whenever you're casting a spell, like if a weapon is enchanted with a bless effect, it'll have a white radiance on it, as opposed to like a flame blade, like a flame breath spear would have like sparks of red mana that course along it. So stuff like that. You can create illusion spells that fake the color. So you could have a trap on a chest that looks red, but if you were to do an investigation check or like an arcana check and you pass it, you might see through the illusion, which would have a blue screen, and behind it is black. It's like you might think, oh, this will just hurt me. Like, it'll do a little bit of damage if I open up the chest. But in fact, it would curse you with, like, say, blindness, which would be different. So, like, you can use that color to manipulate the narrative, and the color is such a narrative tool for humans as it is. It's just what you see is what you cast. It becomes very, very literal unless something's intentionally fucking with you, and then you provide little tools like that to be able to see through the lies of whatever that magic may be, or like wards and stuff like that. It's color is great, but elemental is pretty good. Air, earth, fire, water. Like if this is a fire focused thing, it's gonna be hot to the touch, or it's gonna look like it has like a glow to it, for instance. Those are much better narrative description tools than a conjuration spell. Like, it's kind of hard to visualize what's the difference between say conjuration and evocation. Like, they're both making things happen, right? But so how do you really lock down the language behind that? It's difficult to say. That's my nitty-picky. So Natural Hunter no longer exists. Alert does. Instead of powers that require mana, there's a shitload, like there's 32 feats that you could take instead. So if your character, you're like, I don't want to worry about mana. That shit's stupid. It's like, great. Just stack up on all the feats that you ever wanted so that you can save your 4 levels to actually increase your ability scores instead of learning feats that are feat taxing you. That's the big problem I have with martials, is that a wizard gets like 5 new feats every level and they keep scaling in power. Meanwhile, the fighter's waiting for another 4 levels, so instead of gaining a bonus to their strength, they can learn Sentinel feat. It's like, Jesus Christ, what a tax. So by having a system of prepared powers, and 32 of those powers are just feats that you could just pick up. Today, I'm going to be a polearm Sentinel Master. I won't get the half feat bonus to my ability scores, but I can select the kind of action routine and action loops that I create for my character by choosing what powers that I decide to prepare that day. Action, whether they're feats or combat masteries or actual mana spins. And then sustained powers, once you turn a sustained power on, it's on until it's dispelled, or you're incapacitated, or you take a long rest. Otherwise, I could have like Tremor Sense. I could have that on all day. It only costs me 2 mana to have it on. And since we're working with half casting, like a 20th level, at 17th level, you have access to 5th rank powers. I could have 5 ranks worth of powers sustained at the same time. Like Celerity is a haste effect, and that costs 3 mana. So that's 3 ranks of power. At 9th level, that would be all I could do. But when I get to 13th level, I could do that plus, like, say, have Rogue Stance, which is a sustained power that allows me to have bonus action as a dash, disengage, or dodge action. So I could have Celerity and Rogue Stance active on my fighter at the same time. It'll eat up all 4 ranks of power that I can sustain, but I've just now basically added class features that are permanent until they get taken away from me. And in which case, I can just cast them again, or channel them again and power them back up. So it's simpler than spellcasting, but that's kind of what you'd expect for martial characters, like simple, reliable, point-click effects that either do a thing or they don't, and when they do a thing, it's pretty reliable. Like, there's very few the saving throws that are in this game, for the most part, happen after the fact. I blind you. Now you have to save to get out of it. So the mana that you have is less. It needs to go further to be comparable to the power that full casters have. Full casters can just keep flicking stuff at you. Like, one of these things is going to stick. All we got to do is just keep hitting you with stuff. And they got a shitload of mana to do it with, so they can afford to fail occasionally. Half casters, martial casters, they don't have a huge budget like that. So when they click a power, it needs to stick. If you're going to be an Eldritch Knight that's going to bend into magic, then those spells don't respond the same way as powers do. Like, if I have all of my channels full of sustained effects, like that 13th level fighter that has celerity and rogue stance active, if that was an Eldritch Knight, since all 4 channels are full, sorry Seymour, you can't concentrate on any spells right now until you let go of one of your sustained powers. But you can still throw fireball and shield and shit like that. That's cool. But if it requires concentration, if your channels are full, you can't concentrate on anything. So that's just one of the balancing acts that we developed for the color mana system in general. So anyway, back on track. So alert's still a feat that is allowed. Cliff Runner still exists. Keen Mind is still a feat, so that's cool. Crouching Stance still exists. It's still sus 1. Swift Assessment. I don't think that exists anymore. Trap Sprainer would make sense, though. Let's give him Trap Sprainer instead. And I think Fast is first rank. Vanish is a first rank maneuver. That turns invisible for 1 round. And you can do anything during that round, but it'll end at the beginning of your next round. Let's look at Fast, because I think Fast is first rank. I think I'm behind on text, so give me a hot second. Fast. Yep, it's first rank now. What's up? Mythodormus. I do not blindly Google anything on live stream. Yeah, he's really cool. I like it. Yeah, right on, man. Glad you like it. I'm doing I'll be playtesting level 5 and 6 when I'm done with this document update, probably at the beginning of next month. If you're interested, you can jump into my Discord channel. It's there's a link to it in the About page of my Patreon. You don't have to be a Patreon member to access it. You're welcome. You're welcome to be here. Flicker Pounce. That still exists. I think it's a 3rd rank maneuver. Flicker Pounce. You can teleport. Okay, yeah, it is 3rd rank. Yeah, it is 3rd rank. It is a maneuver. Maneuvers can be triggered by both actions and bonus actions. You could do it twice in the same round if you wanted to spend that much mana on it. You can teleport up to 30 feet to a space within 5 feet of a creature that you can see and make a weapon attack against it. If the attack succeeds, you can choose to teleport back to your original position. If the attack fails, you don't teleport the second time. There you go. So you teleport, you get an attack. I could do that twice. I could do that as a standard action, then I could do it as a bonus action. I'll get 2 attacks out of it as a result of it, but it's going to cost me 6 mana, which is ridiculously expensive to do. If you learn a power twice, you can reduce its cost by 1 to a minimum of 1. So like I could learn Flicker Pounce, and then I could learn it again to make it only 2 mana instead of 3. That's a lot of added value. And you can cheat out action economy. The rogue empowered maneuvers. Beginning at first level during combat, if I sacrifice attacks during my attack action, for each attack I sacrifice, I gain a free point of mana that I could spend on a maneuver that I channel as a bonus action. So if I had Flicker Pounce as a rogue, I have 1 attack, so I could forgo my attack action to reduce the cost by 1. I could choose to learn Flicker Pounce twice, so it only costs me 2 mana. 2 mana, I sacrifice my attack, it now costs 1. So as a bonus action, I would teleport to my target and make an attack against them. There you go. Might not be worth it, but it could be. It depends on what your action loop is and what your resource pool is and how you're building your action loops and what are your necessities for your character. So a lot of ways for you to fuck around with different action economy. But hey, we're on the scout now. So let's see. Fast seems like it'd be a really good low rank maneuver. But you know what? I think I'm going to give him Keen Mind instead, because at first level, you only have 1 point of mana. I mean, granted, you don't start getting bonus powers until 3rd, but even still, and your mana's on a short rest, so you get all 3 mana back whenever you take a short rest. But still, it's expensive at 3rd level because you only have 3 mana. It's best for you to have sustained effects and feats, because feats are always free things anyway. So it's this makes it a lot more affordable. So all we need to do is pick up a fourth, 3rd, 2nd, or 1st ranked power that would fit in at 13th level. Nothing else has changed for the class. Feature is no changes to reactions. Consider an opportunity attack. So what's some cool shit for us to pick up for a skirmisher? I have ideas about this. Is the setting I'm working on? Oh, okay. I thought it'd be cool to share to get some feedback. Thanks a lot, man. Drop by my Discord and drop a link into it and say hey, and I'll check it out. Oh, reposition. I love this. As a reaction to when a creature moves towards you, you can move 10 feet. This power is considered an opportunity attack. Reposition is perfect. Ugh, there's so much good stuff. Let's move. God, this is all good. Let's keep fast. Let's move Cliff Runner. Yeah, I'm not opposed to looking at people's stuff, but it has to be on my program for the day to do it. And what's it called? Reposition? Yeah. Nice. Okay, cool. Those are good. Now let's go down to the... So we have the Soul Knife and Thief. And that's it. The Thief only has power options, the swashbuckler. Oh yeah, that's right. So much of this stuff is just good as is. So Soul Knife, this is where we're actually at. How are we doing on time, by the way? Because I know I don't have a lot today. 52. All right, we can get through Soul Knife and then I'm done for the day. I will clean up. The only thing that's changed about Swashbuckler and Thief are the potential powers that they could have, which we're going to fix. So let's just get through. I can fix all 3 of these off screen. Let's just look at the features of Soul Blade to make sure we get through all this together. And then when we come back on Friday, we'll be back here doing this again on Friday. We'll then work on the Monk. Yeah, Monk on Friday. So I'll have all this updated by then. But let's look at these features real quick. So side power. The Wellspring of Psionic Energy is expressed as your mana pool listed above. Your Psionic die is equal to your power die listed above. Side Bolstered Knack. When your non-psionic training fails you, your psionic power can help. If you fail an ability check using a skill or tool with which you have proficiency, you can roll one power die and add the number rolled to the check, potentially turning failure into success. When your non-psionic training fails you, your psionic power can help. If you fail an ability check using a skill or tool with which you have proficiency, you can roll 1 power die and add the number rolled to the check, potentially turning failure to success. That's free. Which your proficiency. Wow, that's a really good class feature. Okay. Psychic Whisper. You can sustain telepathic communication between yourself and others. Perfect for quiet infiltration. As an action or bonus action. As a sustained power, you can tap 1 mana Up to a number of creatures equal to your proficiency bonus. While sustained, the chosen creature can speak telepathically with you, and you can speak telepathically with them to send and receive a message. Blah 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 blah. Psychic blades. That works. Actually, I want to go look at the Phantom. No, this is Soul Blade. I want to go look at Soul Blade. Get out of here. Let's go check out the Soul Knife, and let's look at their side bolstered knack. Go on ability checks using a skill or tool. You can roll one Sonic Energy and add the number rolled to the check, potentially turning failure into success. You spend the die only if the roll succeeds. Into success. If the check succeeds, if the check That's horrible wording. I bet it can be better. I mean, I bet. I just bet it can. Burp, burp, burp. All right, let that die. Let's see. When your non-sonic fails you, you can spend. You can roll one power die per mana spent and add the highest number, the highest result. The highest number rolled to the check, potentially turning a failure into success. If the check fails, you regain the mana spent this way. Max channel limits and add the highest result and add the highest number rolled to the check, potentially turning a failure into success. If the check fails, you regain the mana spent this way. I like that. Manifest psychic power, shimmering blades of psychic energy. Whenever you take the attack action, you can manifest a psychic blade with your free hand and make the attack with that blade. The magic blade is a simple melee weapon with finesse and thrown properties, and it has normal range of 60 feet and no long range. And on a hit, it deals psychic damage equal to your power die, plus the ability modifier you use the attack roll. You can channel strike powers with this weapon as well. The blade vanishes immediately after it hits or misses its target, and it leaves no mark on its target if it deals psychic damage. After you attack with the blade, you can make a melee or ranged weapon attack with a second psychic blade as a bonus action on the same turn, provided your other hand is free to create it. The damage die of this bonus power uses one die smaller Then your current power die. Power die, D6, D8, D10. Dice, D4, D6, D8. At 9th level, your Psychic Blade is now an expression of your Psi-suffused soul, giving you those powers that you use your psionic energy dice. Owning strikes. Homing strikes. If you make an attack with your Psychic Blade and miss the attack as an exploit, you can spend mana up to your max channel limit to roll an equal number of power dice and add the highest number rolled to the attack roll, potentially changing a miss into a hit. And Psychic Teleportation. Hey, 377, let's go! Thanks, my dude! Well, taking off, man. Just like Team Rocket. Thanks for being around, my guy. If you make an attack roll with your Psychic Blade and miss the attack as an exploit, you can spend mana up to your maximum channeling limit to roll an equal number of power dice. As an exploit, if you make an attack roll and miss, yes, okay. Psychic Transportation. As a bonus action, you manifest one of your Psychic Blades. Expend 1 mana to throw the blade at an unoccupied space and you can see up to 60 feet away. You then teleport to that space and the blade vanishes. Then at 13th level, you can wield a Veil of Psychic Static to mask yourself. As a sustained power, you can use an action or bonus action to tap 2 mana to magically become invisible, along with anything you are wearing or carrying while the Psychic Veil is sustained. This invisibility ends immediately after you deal damage to a creature or you force a creature to make a saving throw. Okay, so as a sustained power, it can last until you are incapacitated, it's dispelled, or you take a long rest. So it could last all day, unless you make an attack or force a saving throw onto somebody, in which case it ends. So that makes sense. When you hit with an attack, you can burn 3 mana you can channel. Rend Mind, you can channel. So when you hit with an attack, you can channel 3 mana to stun the target. The effect lasts 10 rounds. The creature can make a wisdom saving throw at the end of each of its turns to end the effect early. There you go. So that caps that. All we have left is updating features. All the other features are updated. We just have to update the power lists. And I'm not going to bother doing that right now. But when we come back around on Friday, we're going to work on the monk. We're going to be back tomorrow morning in the AM for our early morning coffee art. We're going to continue doing Eberron adventure map cartography at lunch tomorrow. We'll be doing similar to this. We'll be doing the Spelljammer combat and exploration spacefaring subclasses. We're making a unique spelljamming archetype for all 13 classes. And then Thursday morning, we'll be back to do more Eberron cartography. Thursday night, we'll be working on the Spelljammer megaship that we've been building the deck plans for. Friday morning, we'll be back here again. Friday lunch, we'll be here working on the monk. And then Saturday morning is a grab bag. I honestly don't know what I'm going to be doing yet on Saturday. I work on commissions, personal projects, and whatever else it is that grabs my attention. So we'll be working probably on one of these things. Who knows? Maybe I'll work on the Mecha Kaiju book. No promises, but we'll see. Anyway, that's it for now. I got to go back to work. And right on, the guy. I will catch you on the other side. Thanks for jumping on board, Cactus. And anyone else that's out there, like, subscribe. I'll see you in the future. So I'll be back like in 27 hours. Bye.